Well, there was a day, and I think he brought it up in the morning, because usually what happened was they would have breakfast, and then they would take off, and we might not see him until the next morning, because they would work late into the night sometimes. So anyway, probably in the morning, he said, "Well, you guys have been very gracious here, taking care of us, and we would like to do something for you. What can we do?" And I said,
Yeah, you could have a concert at our house. And he said, sure, I'd be happy to do that. When do you want me to do it? And I said, well, we have this thing called Second Saturday Sing at 7. Could you do it then? And he said, nope, can't do it then because I'm going to be, I guess he was in New Mexico. And so he said, how about if we do it tomorrow?
So we called everybody, and they called their friends, and next thing you know, there's 350 people here. And we had that Sharon Henderson lived upstairs, and she had her tape recorder, and she taped it all. Thank God. At the time, I don't think any of us realized how valuable those tapes would become.
I said, you're under contract with a recording company. Are you going to be in trouble for doing this concert? And he goes, yeah. I said, are you afraid of that? He goes, no.
I do know that it came together real fast. He said, oh yeah, we'll just play a concert here tonight. You can call some people, and they did, and blammo, it filled up.
My dad, when he was telling us about this show at the cruises, was like, guys, the guy who wrote Our God is an Awesome God is gonna, be playing at the cruises. And so I freaked out. I was so excited.
this is a big living room. This holds a lot of people. It was like standing room only in here, and people were standing outside of each of the screen doors there and all of those windows, just standing watching from the outside. He said what made him famous, what got him on the map, was that Amy Grant performed Sing Your Praise to the Lord. And he said, but she did it wrong. And everybody thought, she did it wrong. She made you millions of dollars or something, I don't know. But anyway, he said she left out one of the most important parts. It was a kind of a bridge part that he had written. When he did it, it sounded great. He would be playing the piano, like notes flying out of that piano every which way. At the same time that he's doing that, he's reaching over and leaning over and talking to Eric Hauk. Hey, let's do this one next, and get out your cello, and just like talking to all the guys in the band right while he's doing all this stuff. I mean, he was amazingly talented.
It was kind of a quasi-trial run, even though everybody wasn't there, of course. So in my mind, it was a big deal. It was my first opening for Rich.
I think the guys went that way. They went sort of towards the country to the cruise house, and I went towards the city that night. I don't remember what I was up to, but it was propositioned to me that it was an option. And so, having just spent 3 months living in the same van and same rundown church, if I'm given an option, I need a break. So I remember taking that optional night of performing seriously. So I wasn't there.
So I definitely remember the Screen Door song, and I remembered the song about David versus Goliath, and some of the songs that weren't even his biggest songs. Those were the ones I remember asking him to play that when he was here. Yeah, I requested that one, and he said, "Oh my gosh, I don't know." But that's just the one as a kid that I listened to the most. And so I asked him about it, and he said, "I don't think anyone's ever requested that one." But he did it, and he remembered it. He kind of, I think he struggled through it, but he made it through it, and still remembered the words. And just as a kid, that was it was just a fun, upbeat song.
I've watched the video a lot since then. A lot of the memory of that exact night is lost on me, but I do remember a lot of my friends being there, and I remember yeah, kind of just stumbling over people to try and get anywhere. The bathrooms were always being used, and you couldn't really go outside to catch some fresh air because there were people out there too. So it was pretty crazy.
Our worship leader at the time, Joe Barlow, had lent him his guitar, and it was made out of that graphite stuff. And he really didn't want to play that. He wanted one made out of wood. So I lent him my old beat-up Epiphone guitar. It was a nice old guitar. It was not amplified. It was not electric, though. It was just a old-fashioned acoustic guitar. And that's the one he played. It's what he wanted to do.
I don't think I had ever even heard a hammer dulcimer before that, so it was definitely I just was like wide-eyed about it, you know? I was like, man, I want to listen to that over and over and over again. It was literally one of the most beautiful things I had ever heard. So much to the point that, like, we have to get Dad a hammer dulcimer for Christmas. Like, we have to experience that again, you know? And so, but I mean, obviously just the way he gets into it and all that, like, that would take so long to be able to learn that well of, you know, how he was just so effortless in it, and it was beautiful. It was definitely magical.
He was just taking requests. He was just opening up the floor for anybody to request a song. And it was really cool because he would talk, and he took it really, really seriously, even though this was not his typical concert. This was a barn show, and it was just local people.
Yeah, I think I remember my cousins being there. They were in a band back in the day called Barlow Girl, and it was a Christian rock band. And they actually lived very close to the cruises, too.